Alrighty, welcome everyone. I am Teeaboo and I am here for 100 Girlfriends, Season 2, Episode 10. Good morning, everyone, and it has been quite a morning for me. I've been up for a little while doing, honestly, boyfriend stuff, which is weird to say, but boyfriend stuff. My partner and I have a little poodle who's just a puppy. I should say my partner has a little poodle who's a puppy. And we have her scheduled for a spay just next week. And we almost got it exactly right, but nobody notified her body's internal clock. And so she decided that she was going to go into heat last night. So this morning, I woke up and ran off to the store to get her some puppy diapers so that she doesn't leave spots all over everything. And she's doing just fine. She's very cuddly and sweet and happy, but we're taking care of the little puppy. And it just felt like I don't know, I felt like Rentaro on, like, running off to do something to help somebody who needed help this morning, and it felt very good. That's what it felt like. It felt good. I'm glad to be able to take care of this little puppy and to help my partner take care of the puppy because, like, somebody had to watch the puppy while somebody went and got diapers and stuff. So I'm really glad to be a part of that and to help things work and help a little creature have a good experience in reality and stuff. So that's the secret. The secret is out. That's what I've been spending Patreon dollars on, is puppy diapers. That's where my egregious spending goes. Yeah, that's been my morning. So I'm still kind of waking up in that weird way when you, like, wake up early and then go do stuff and you're, like, on and doing stuff but not, like, actively there. I think I have to drink my caffeine and move in the direction of fun things. So I'm glad to wake up for a fun thing and sit down here to enjoy a fun thing. Speaking of fun things, last week's episode was a hell of a fun thing. It was wild, like a full hair post-apocalypse. I saw people referencing it and talking about it as, like, reminding them of Fire Punch. I saw people referencing it, all sorts of things. Kill la Kill was something that I mentioned a bunch of times. Just an incredibly interesting, fascinating, weird, off-the-wall, absurd sci-fi story. That's what that is. That's a sci-fi apocalypse story based on hair growth, which is utterly insane and completely absurd, and does what this show does best and takes a simple interpersonal conflict and ramps it up to world-ending stakes in order to help it play out between our characters in a way that's fun and entertaining and enjoyable and interesting for us, and I think we nailed it. So the Earth is no longer wrapped in hair and everybody isn't going to die. That's good. I spent my drawing time drawing braids, or at least trying to figure out how to draw braids, and eventually having some mixed success once I actually looked at some references and figured out how they look, because actual braids and drawn braids, different. Lots of braids in anime are drawn in ways that braids would never be, which is something that I never realized, and my brain has always washed right over because, duh, because it's like, it's just hair that's looped together, but hair actually looping together is hard, and hair that's just squiggles of lines that kind of looks like braids and sort of evokes them is all we do. It's all we ever do. Really interesting. That's not true at all. There are tons of characters in anime who have braids that are drawn as though they were real hair. Like, some of the Monogatari characters have real braidy braids, but also there are lots of braids that are just they take some artistic liberties about the idea of things curled around each other, and you realize when you're looking at it that would just untwist. It would just it'd be gone. I'm sorry, I've been completely sidetracked by braids. As I said, I'm not really that awake right now, but I wanted to take that page down so that I could move it to the previous page that I drew last week for that episode, expecting that we would follow a particular format and get our last girlfriend, but we didn't, which means that I am almost certain, combined with the title of the episode for this week, Pika Boy Meets Girl, that we will finally be meeting this girlfriend. So, hair braids, hair story, Peekaboo. So what's the deal? Light sensitivity? That's my strongest guess, and I think I confirmed it even more strongly when we watched through the OP, and there's this moment she's, like, hiding her eyes because the sunlight from the sunset that they're staring at is coming out right at them, and Rentaro puts the little eyeballs on her, which are the same as the little mask thing that the little little round statue boy wears. But who is she? Because that's nothing. And as always with these characters, we've got this like surface layer thing, and then there needs to be 1% at least, and usually it's much more, but I'm gonna keep the bar really low because we've got 100 girlfriends to get through. There needs to be like 1% of a really interesting person underneath, not just a trait, right? A trait with legs, because that's the line that we've chosen to walk here. Yes, these are characters that are distinguished from each other by particular traits, but they must never become a walking trait with legs. Yeah? Because if they just become that, we lose the magic of the show where each of them is an individual and each of them is a person and each of them is worthy and all of that shit. So, who is Blind Girl and who is she beyond her light sensitivity or horse blinder needs or whatever the fuck is going on? I don't know. We'll have to find out. And as always, it's the same set of questions. Who is she? What's the connection between her and Rentro? And how does that fit into the whole squad of girls? And this is an interesting one, I think, because I think we have a lot of that information. We know that she makes stuffed animals, I think. Like she is the manufacturer of all the stuffed animals that we see in the OP. I'm pretty sure because we get it in some of the text that they send back and forth. So I'm guessing that she's isolated and confined, maybe not because she's actually introverted, but simply because she's like can't go outside or something like that, and has found hobbies to entertain herself, to like create things that she really likes, things that she thinks are cute. That's my guess. And I think that there are a bunch of roads, but the strongest road for Rentaro to fall for that is like, wow, how cool it is that you're pursuing this passion and creating things. What beautiful talents you have and stuff like that. Where she might not be able to see any of that in herself. But all of that's just fucking conjecture off the back of an episode that started with like a place further than the universe dudes in the North Pole and ended with the planet being covered in hair. All of that is to say, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and this show is wild and it can do whatever the hell it wants. Sort of in the usual vein of where just could commentate on a tendency that I have, where I'll say something like really broad and sweeping about reality. It's like, well, people really seem to think this way. And then I'll also say something like, no individual human has any conception of the actual nature of reality because we're all so small and our ability to understand things is so pathetic. And I'm aware of the hypocrisy. I'm aware of it. All of that to say that here's all this stuff that I think is almost guaranteed to be what's going to happen in this episode. And also, this show loves to explode my expectations and do whatever the fuck it wants. And I love it. I love it. And I feel the same way about life, where it's like, I've got a really ironed out understanding of the way that reality works, and something ridiculous just happened, and I have no idea why that happened. Back to the drawing board, I guess. What fun. All right, I think I've blathered enough here at the beginning. Thanks for bearing with me if you're still here for whatever reason. Let's watch 100 Girlfriends, Season 2, Episode 10, Pika Boy Meets Girl. Looks like we're starting with one cute blonde, and we'll move from there. Thanks for joining me, everyone. There'll be two versions of this reaction video. Picture-in-picture version available in the description. Timer on YouTube. Beep beep timer to count you down. Early access on the Patreon. Beep beep timer. Hmm. Meikuin? I'm guessing it's a food. I'm sorry, it's the Zawardo! Yes! A reference that I get. Otto. Kakure meme. She sure does have a character design. Oh, wow. Devil mind Gamiga! Yes. And they're trying to force you to get in the way. So, God is on our plane. It's not a separate reality. Okay. Eye to eye. We still want to see your eye. But what are we seeing? What the fuck? Okay. The secret to anti-aging is to reject your humanity. Georgia! I'm such a simple person. I really could just be happy if it was all JoJo's references all the time. But my bangs! Oh. Oh. It's just trying to hide your face under your bangs. Goes first, only second. She's got all these little cute creatures. Also, her voice actress sounds familiar to me. No, she just hopes. Hmm. Also, you dress like an incredibly stacked businesswoman, so that's not gonna work. Oh. The the tism is very relatable though. Oh. Yeah, she threw out a totem. Oh. Oh. She makes these things. That's so cute. Yeah, cute indeed. Holy shit. Oh my god. You're gonna have to trap her. I need your help. Also, there are gonna be cute plushies in it. Mm-hmm. GG. So mean. but she wants to be unseen. Yeah. Yeah. I'll stay far away. That's so cute to give the space to talk. And that is all she needs. I think it's because she thinks you're cute. Whoa! She's gonna fucking disappear. Yeah, she's gone. It's a very strange stand ability. Wait, are we actually? wait. Yeah, that's Kuroko no Basuke. What's with the veil? Oh, to not show the characters. To not copyright infringe. Brilliant. So this is the there's our real person. What's your solution, Rentaro? And also, wait. What are we doing now? What are we doing now? What is this? We're not even halfway through, guys. He's literally flipping the script. Fucking great. Fucking great. Right behind me. Find a mirror. Oh. I can't. I'm gonna break my neck. I'm gonna actually break my neck. I mean, he's seen your face. Oh, fucking hell. Wow, G post binder? That sucks. I mean, we... Yay, but oh, fuck. Aww. I make the cutest things ever for you. Oh my god. Oh, she wants to eat it. I saw that. I saw that. She really wants to eat it. Everybody thinks that she's cool because she's got talent. Straight to jail. Straight to jail. Mm. Nice. Nice. Mei wins. Was that Detective Conan? It 100% was. Through the little thing. Uh-huh. 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 Please don't actually go to the end of the earth. Stay in the school. Yeah. And of course, Toei likes that as well. Yes. Oh shit. We've never seen her except in. Okay. Wow, they all end up in pairs. What? No, definitely not. Oh, oh my god, the classic. The absolute classic. I was literally thinking how much porn I've seen in those. That's so fucking funny. Like, why is it always the hurdle? You know why. You know why, Hahari. Caught. Oh, we're playing a end of word thing. Aww. Aww. Mm-hmm. Because they're the cutest. Yeah, Shizuka. Shizuka. Hmm. Because they were in the box. Uh-huh. Nothing suspicious here. Nano? I'm so surprised. Okay, what was that a reference to? It's always food. She's gonna bite you. She's gonna bite you. Or that. Also a reference? I don't know. The square mouth. Everyone petting Hakari. Oh my gosh. She's seen worse. It's fine. Sweat. Well done, well done. She in the box. It's a really heavy box. Or is she in the hair? In the box. It's big hair. It's bigger than usual. It's the hair. Hell yeah. A bad pun? Yeah. Please. Yeah, yourself too, but please her for sure. She poofed. Her superpower. It's wild. We just fully pulled that for Kuroko. And she's bad at it. Victory. Huh? It's not about not disappearing. It's about how long it takes you to get back after you disappear. Meditation. Progress. No, but her eccentricities make her fit in. They're what make her have puzzle piece parts that make you fit into the place. Doubt it. She's scared of her face being seen? That's fine. Oh my. Tied down and forced to kiss? Oh. We about to drop a bomb here at the end of the episode? My guy. My guy. My dude, bro. Yeah, you can't get embarrassed if you're not thinking about it. Let the embarrassment happen after. Yeah, you know. And stole your face, too. She's a great addition. Awesome. I think as far as an episode goes, this is a solid episode for an introduce a girlfriend episode. I think as far as a girlfriend goes, Mei Mei's great. I think she's great. I think the layers of depth to this one are pretty freaking solid. And there's a lot that I can, like, sort of sink my teeth into or attach to directly because of personal experiences or anecdotal experiences or just places where I have done certain levels of research. Mei Mei is really interesting because her attitude in an internal, like, psychological perspective versus how she appears to the people outside of her are dramatically different. This is really interesting because we don't really have characters like her too much. Pretty much all of our characters play themselves straight. That is to say, like, their physical design and their psychology are aligned. They're all aligned, right? Like, Shizuka is a cute little library creature who is cute and little and exists in libraries, right? And Mimi is like is pretty and hot and does all these things to make herself more so and like buys into all of that and is um her identity is aligned with her expression, the way that she presents herself, like, even without all of the makeup and the curlers in her hair and all of those things, she still is a person who fits that, right? Like, when she looks at herself in the mirror, she sees someone who can become the kind of person that she wants herself to identify as. And I think the same goes for every character in our group so far, barring one. With like the only exceptions in terms of like self-doubt, I think being Karane's worries around her breast size. I think that's the only one of all of them. Nobody else has worries about how they look that they've expressed, right? Like, Kusuri isn't worried about being small and childish and like going back and forth and in between. None of that is front and center for these characters. This is the first character who's really got a problem with a part of their body, of their character design. And I think that's where it really starts, is that each of these characters is like designed to fit their character. Like, Nano is designed to be an android, kind of, right? Like, to be a human who's elegant and graceful and tall and pretty and has white hair and all these things that fit her character as a thing. It's all meant to be one coherent picture. And then we get Mei Mei, who's drawn in opposition to the person who's inside. Because the person who's inside doesn't want to be perceived, and the person who's outside fits a bunch of the things that the society, the people around her, view as, oh man, they're exceptional, but they're like centers of attention. They're worth putting up on high, worth looking at. She's a focal point because of her physical beauty, because of the size of her breasts, because of the physical frame that she has, and she doesn't want to be. She wants to not be perceived. And it's not as though, I don't think we get any line in there that she actually thinks she's ugly, right? Or that she's afraid that people reject her if she gets perceived. She takes responsibility for it. She's shy. She doesn't want to be perceived. Really, really interesting. She doesn't want to be perceived, and she doesn't want to be perceived the way people perceive her because of her assets, her traits, the things that other people would look at as assets, right? What a strange thing that's even built into our phrasing around such things. She doesn't want to be perceived a particular way because she fits particular archetypes that others are looking for. She's just a person who likes to knit. It's very interesting. And the show does a really interesting job of it, because we do sexualize those aspects of her, and then Rentaro learns from that later on, is sort of how I see it. It's very, very interesting. And then there's also the layer of, how do you put this? She's got, businesswoman sexy. The long dress, the not showing anything, the stockings and the panties over the stockings hits an area of like fetishization, especially I think in Japanese culture, that slots her into another archetype of people who are like extremely sexy and then not dressing like it, sort of Office Siren-esque. And all of that is layered on as these outward things that she doesn't really have that much control over, and to the extent that she does have control, she's trying to limit those expressions, and yet they define the way that everybody else interacts with her constantly. I think that this is an excellent picture of what happens when you deal with a conventionally attractive human female who has autism. I think that they're the same picture. Like the picture of Mei Mei and the picture of a conventionally attractive human female who has autism are like the same picture. And I think that there are brands or forms of dysphoria that I did a bunch of research into to understand some people in my life a little bit better. And it turns out that a lot of women with autism have a really hard time, like, dealing with the expectations that are placed upon them because of the perceptions of them and because of what other people in society expect of them because of their sexuality. Women do in general have a hard time with this. Humans do in general have an incredibly hard time with like expectations placed upon you because of your appearance. It's a huge issue, and it's one that I think is worth struggling with. I struggle with it. We've talked about it in this show, and we've talked about it in a bunch of other shows. But I think it's autism really fans those fires and makes it really hard to connect with the body and feel like I even identify with the body as yours in the first place. And then to identify with like the way that other people treat that body, really strange. So then we layer in that she's like well beyond big-breasted to the point that many people would consider like a reduction for physical health, shoulder health, stuff like that. And these are traits that other people are going to sexualize and love about her and expect certain things from her because of. And she's not that person. She just wants to knit her things, right? So by producing this character who's at odds with herself, like her internal capital S self is at odds with her physicalized embodied self on this planet. I think that opens the door to a whole bunch of people's experiences of reality, finding themselves embodied in weird mechas that they don't really necessarily identify with. And beyond that, even if you do identify with and feel comfortable in your body, you may not always want to be perceived in a particular way, or treated in a particular way, or fucking approached continuously, or any of those things. This is a strange anecdote, but I couldn't help but think of it. I was reading Reddit the other night, and I came upon an Ask Reddit thread where somebody was asking if they were being really weird. This was a person in the UK who described themselves as a white woman. If it was weird for them to go out in public in a hijab when they didn't want to be perceived. Fascinating idea. Had never thought of anything like it. And I realize that there's, like, people will run with this in terms of commentary on Islam and commentary on hijabs and and burqas and all this shit. I don't give a fuck. I was just interested in the isolated incident of a person who doesn't always want to be perceived, doesn't want to be approached by men in public, doesn't want to be ogled, doesn't want to be looked at, doesn't want to have to dress up to be perceived as pretty, doesn't want to go out in sweatpants and feel frumpy, instead will throw a hijab on and go to the grocery store and buy stuff at the grocery store. Right? In a city where it's common enough, people will give weird looks, but they're giving weird looks at the shroud instead of the person within. So the person within feels a level of anonymity. I thought that was a fascinating idea, and I was thinking about the autistic women that I know and whether they would want something like that. And I was thinking absolutely 100%, except that they would have weird feelings about the religious nature of the thing. Which I do too. Fair. But the idea that one might not want to be perceived, particularly as, like, everyone who you walk by goes, wow, you're so interesting because of something that's out of your control and I want to use. Fun. I can imagine a lot of people wouldn't want that. And that makes her a really interesting, like, a counterpoint to me, kind of. A counterpoint to me is like obsessed with beauty, which is this outward expression thing, and living up to this ideal and standard, whereas the inherent beauties that Mei has are detriments to her. But everyone else is like, wow, you're so lucky, you've been blessed with big titties, and she's like, ow, they hurt, and also people keep staring at my titties, and I would like to just be in the corner, please, and knit things. Fascinating. I think a fascinating character, and I will say that there are things that I've extrapolated and things that I've added on that aren't necessarily present in the text of Mei because of people that I've interacted with, and I want to be careful in making sure that I don't conflate the two, at least not too much, because I want to address Mei as she is and as she is presented in the show, not like my idea of her, okay? In a way, it's the same respect that we're trying to show her, that Rentaro is trying to show her, and respecting her as she is and not as she doesn't want to be seen, you know? So I think let's go through the episode. We'll go on a light jog. I think the opening is really fucking funny with the my bangs. Oh, your bangs. The pantsu, I mean, it's incredibly sexy. Is she taping her? I don't understand. That's fine. Crack, save her. I can't deal with people looking at me, or worse, seeing my face. I don't want to be perceived. Quote, I don't want to be perceived right now is something that my partner says every week or two for like a little while. So I very much understand this. I don't relate to it personally for the most part, because it's not a feeling that I really get. When I get that, it's like, I just want to be alone. I don't care if people are perceiving me. I just don't want to be near people. But I fully understand this and have met people for whom it is directly true. So I have to keep it hidden under my bangs. And it's not because she has some hate of her face. She's just shy. She just doesn't want to be perceived. It, like, forces her to exist. And that sucks. relatable. I love the question, "You can perceive me," is really funny because it implies that she's living in, like, I can't see them, they can't see me sort of space. I think that's really cute. I feel like that's kind of a standout feature. I've been hiding my face to blend in as a nameless extra. Yeah, good luck living that unassuming life. Ah. But if I try other options, they attract even more attention. I'm really the autism case, you're not beating it. You're not beating the autism case here as a kid going to school with literal masks on, wondering why the other kids aren't cool with it. I think the case is strong. And yet under that is the wrinkle, which is that, like every human being, while Mei does not want to be perceived in her fucking weird flesh suit, she does want to be seen. And there's a difference between her body and her. She does want to be seen. And while Rentaro will apologize for this, and it is on that edge, it's in sort of fraught gray space where it could offend her based on her perspective, I think his compliment of her eyes does cut through somehow. It feels different. And I'm not sure exactly what that is about it. It's something about cutting through the hiding to try to be honest. I'm not sure. It does get through though, and then she disappears. I love the Kigurumi vanish. I guess it's not Kigurumi. I love the little vanishings. I love the different little stuffed animals. It makes her so cute. Pew, pew, pew. Avoid, 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 avoid. Estimated to be a G cub, and then she fucking rubs it in on Karane. Ugh. And then here we go. Rentaro has his powerful moment of realization. Those are qualities most people would kill for, but not everyone is the same. Shy as she is, they must cause her nothing but suffering. She didn't choose to be born like this. Yeah. So, yeah, suffering from success, cursed to be too sexy. I think people scoff and laugh at this sort of thing. Especially now, it feels like it's getting worse. That people expect that attractiveness and good life and stuff go hand in hand. I think social media contributes to that. I think people scoff at the idea that a particular set of traits that other people envy might be a detriment, like comes with its own set of real flaws, because we're so inured to ideas like pretty privilege, and we're aware that more attractive people do better in every industry and in every aspect of social lives. But that only functions for attractive people who like embrace that and use it. Really, it can really work against you. And if you're conscious of it, the benefits that you gain from it can feel poisoned, can feel totally fucking poisoned, can feel like guilt-inducing and horrible. I don't think we get any evidence of that here. I don't think any of that is wrapped into Mei's character, but I'm just thinking about our ideas around conventional attractiveness and how we look at people who are conventionally attractive as though they've been like unalloyed good, blessed. Just you've been given a literal blessing by a deity, and that just makes everything better for you. Even in my previous sentence, it was kind of built into that sentence. But I think that's an assumption that is worth questioning, because people are not monolithic. Like, people aren't all the same, and the desires that people have may not always be in line with the desires that an attractive person can achieve more effectively. Like, if your desire is for a partner who like really cares about you as a person, you're going to have a lot harder time finding that if you're a 9 or a 10 on conventional attractiveness scales. Just because of the number of people who will throw themselves at you and lie, cheat, steal, pretend in order to get close to you because you're an object of desire for them. Whereas if you're not that desirable, those people are going to skip past you, and you're probably more likely to run into somebody who will put in some degree of effort to get to know you, and you'll have more of a chance of, like, they're not gonna it's just gonna work out a little bit better for you in the long run. But then, of course, I mean, I don't know. On the other hand, as a more attractive person, you'll have a wider pool of people who will be attracted to you in return, so you might have a better chance of finding the person that you really want to be with. All of it to say that our assumptions about these things are worth questioning, and so I really enjoy that the show does so. And I really enjoy that the way that Rentaro manages to be best boy here is by questioning his own assumptions. It's really cool. And by it's one of the other things that he does so well is he thinks about what's making the conversation hard for the other person. And he's done this a number of times for other people. It's like, how could I set this up so that I cause the least harm in this as I can and get the thing done? I think a lot of times when we're going into a conversation that's full of conflict or tension, we just think about our side of it. And if you spend some time thinking about the other person's side of it, you're going to get miles further. I've been talking a lot in Ashita no Joe about how if you want to convince someone of something, you need to figure out what they actually want and talk about that, because talking about what you want is never going to get there. It's like Rentaro needs to talk to her, but she needs not to see him face to face because she can't cope. She can't handle it. So if he's an idiot, he just keeps running after her, trying to, because his need outweighs. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. And she's like, I can't talk to you right now. I can't do it. And you see this in text exchanges between, like, boyfriends and girlfriends and shit, where it's like, I need to talk to you right now. Like, we have to talk about this. Like, I'm not, chill, man. But Rentro's not like that. Rentaro goes, I need to talk to her, but she's scared. Is there any way that we can make this happen where she'll feel safe? And so he figures out a way. He figures out around the corner will work from afar. And it does. And she comes closer to him, right? It ends up working. So he apologizes. I'm sorry for offending you. It was so thoughtless of me. But that's not it. That's not it. I'm just too embarrassed to face you in person because I love you. Oh, and he's like, it's still my fault in my mind. You just know it inside my head. No, I'm in love with you. And then she disappears, of course. And then fucking Kuroko no Basket. Absolutely insane. The writer reading Kuroko's Basket. I love Kuroko no Basket. It's so much fun. It's so silly. Superhero basketball or superpower basketball. It's great. It's great. There are BL ships for the Fujoshis. It's a good show. I could never fall in love when I'm like this. That thing is out of reach for me. I would simply get embarrassed and vanish. So I was never going to tell you how I feel. And we get the full face, the powerful Rentaro, full face, I love you too. What is this? What is this? What is this? This first girlfriend that he couldn't save fucking thing. What is this? Is this a direct reference, or is this just taking the piss and being insane? I don't know. I don't know. Where is she? Always behind you. And then the gag that actually ended my life. Just that. Incredibly silly, drops to incredibly romantic, and really cute. I will find you, so you can always fall in love. So she leans forward, her tits rip out of her binder, demonstrating to us that she's hiding that as well, which really makes me think of the hijab and stuff. It's very interesting. It's like a positive to everybody else, but to her, she's trying to be hidden, and she's got billboards for tits that have like flashing lights on them. They're like, come look at me! Everybody look at me! I'm special. Like, if she were me, it would be different, because her internal person would be aligned with that to some extent, would make the most of it, right? She'd dress completely differently and act completely differently and lean in completely differently. And the same goes for so many of our girlfriends. Like, Hahari and Hakari are so conscious of their bodies and constantly using them for like sexualizing themselves, right? Mimi, it's about beauty, not sexiness exactly. So it's different, but still. And then we have Mei here, who is such a difference, such a wrinkle. Really fascinating. And she's always invisible and always hiding. I think she fits so perfectly into the squad, and we kind of knew this from the start because of her making all the stuffed animals and stuff. She makes custom plushies for everybody. Like, oh my god, are you kidding? The cutest. You'll never be a bother. You could never. And then we'll play hide and seek. And this is a Detective Conan reference. I'm positive of it. Absolutely absurd. I love the hiding places. I love that they hide as pairs. It's really absurd. This is, oh god, the show continues to just be steeped in so much media. Do you know how much porn ends up with characters hiding in that thing? Or like, oh my god. Or like how many romance scenes characters are like forced to hide in there, and suddenly they're really close and then they kiss inside the fucking hurdle thing. Insane. I think we play it up a little bit much for the silliness, but we also play up all the cuteness over here and all the cute characters being cute in different ways, and that's fine and fun. I think hiding in the hair is absurd, but we find Mei. We love Mei. Everybody is cool with her. She's part of the squad. And there's this moment that I really like. Mei-chan was worried she wouldn't fit in because of her eccentricities. And the next line is like, these girls would never judge her for that. But I want to take it a different direction. What she needed was confidence, and that the family accepted and welcomed her, which is absolutely right. I want to take it in just a slightly different direction. Mei-chan was worried she wouldn't fit in because of her eccentricities. Man, you and me and everybody else, both, right? But your eccentricities, they sort of stick out of you like the stick-outy parts of puzzle pieces, or the binding proteins on the surface of cells and viruses and stuff, right? They stick out of you, and because they stick out of you, you don't fit with people that you don't fit with, and you do fit with people that you do fit with, because you got these parts that stick out of you, and they've got like matching parts that fit. I'm not talking about dicks. I'm talking about puzzle pieces. I'm talking about you as a conceptualized two-dimensional flat object with weird shapes. Okay. Those eccentricities, they stick out of you. They're like those puzzle bits. And when you hide them, you like fold them in on yourself so that you're just like a square. You're just like a square. And that's great. That's great, because then we can take you a square and we can fit you with other squares, and they can all fit together, and that's glorious. But you never really fit, because you're always pretending like those parts don't stick out of you. Because if they did stick out of you, you're worried it would upset the whole structure of squares that you're a part of. The secret is that all those squares around you have their parts filed off too, and they're miserable because of it. And then the other secret is that those parts, when you like fold them in on one side, they unfold out a different side and create a different problem out a different direction. So like, you try to withhold your eccentricities so you can fit into the Tetris block, and you find yourself miserable because you're in a horrible Tetris block and not the puzzle piece that you're supposed to fit into. And you're pretending to not have all these traits that you actually have and not be who you are. And so you never find people who would fit with who you actually are. And because you're surrounded by people who are also pretending to be squares and also pretending like they don't have interesting puzzle pieces, man, you're going to end up hating yourself and hating everybody else. It's going to be fucking great. So don't do that. Don't do that. You're never going to fit in with others by filing off your eccentricities. Well, I guess that's not it. You will fit in with others by filing off your eccentricities, but it won't be you. It won't be you. It'll be you pretending to be something else. You'll never be happy. I think the antidote is right here, is doing the opposite, is having it proven to you by the world repeatedly that when you act out your eccentricities and actually embody them and be who you are, you can find people who, like proteins flying around in primordial soup, click together. And those clicks and those bonds can be really powerful and exponential, and you can grow a group out of that. And that group can click more people in who also have eccentric, like, strangenesses. And you can find those people by broadcasting who you actually are. I think a lot of people are worried that being who they actually are is going to turn a lot of people off from them, and they're right, and that's good. Because you won't fit with those people. But if both of you are filing off your edges in order to try to fit, then you might get dramatically incompatible people pretending to be friends or pretending to be lovers. Oh, God. Dramatically incompatible people pretending that they're somebody else in order to pretend, so that the other person's pretending works too. And we end up 60 years down the line in hell, or 5 years down the line in divorce, like whatever. But the antidote is to do the opposite, is to actually act out who you are, to not get hurt by the rejections of the people who are inevitably going to reject you, because that's the way it is. They're shaped differently. You're shaped differently. You're not going to fit together. So be it. And to hope and know that you will find those people who will actually click with you in time. Fuck yeah. It's really cool. What she needed was confidence that the family accepted her and welcomed her. And so on the flip side is like, what can you do to foster that? This is to accept and welcome people as they are for who they are. I think if you can do that, and if you can foster a community that does that, I think you're well on your way to creating powerful, positive ripple effects in the world, like we've talked about in this show before. I think that's really cool. Kisu! She can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. She's embarrassed of the embarrassment, right? Like pre-embarrassed. She refuses to do it because she thinks she'll be embarrassed and disappear. And so Rentaro gets her with the sneaky kiss. And of course she does disappear. Poof. Without a sound. Gone without a trace. And that's great. Because we got the kissu. That's fun. That's fun. I really like Mei's character. I think she's a unique and valued addition to our team. And I think it is because of her eccentricities that she fits so well. How thematically perfect that puzzle piece fits in to my little story. Yay! Yay! We did it, everybody. We have introduced, met, and kissed every girlfriend of the season, unless there's something fucking wacky gonna happen in the next couple episodes. Ah! Hell yeah. Let's go, Rentaro. He keeps being the best boy. The girlfriends keep being the best girlfriends. And we've got 2 episodes to do something absolutely off the wall, balls out insane for the last couple episodes in the finale. I don't know how you can top the hairpocalypse, but I bet that the showrunners do. And so I'm excited for next time on 100 Girlfriends, where we're going to find out what the fuck happens when all this cute is all together in one place. Maybe the world will implode. Who knows? Anyway, thanks so much for watching me watch this week's episode of 100 Girlfriends. I really enjoyed it. I really like Mei. She reminds me a lot of people that I've met. And the struggles that she has are very, like, near and dear and very real to me. So, cool episode, cool character. Love how she's become a part of the Girlfriends. We'll have to see what happens next time on 100 Girlfriends who really, 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 really love you. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Much love. Peace.